leave, he's on his way. Erickson Gall,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Joliet,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Gingell, Luce.
Here,
You have quorum?
thank you. Please join me in rising for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we move to the approval of the minutes, I wanted to let the commissioners know that we have clerk staff here to do a swearing in after this meeting, if you'd like to do it as a group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to the clerk's
So
office.
we move on to our minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of December 3rd.
So
I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Joliet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. I need a motion to approve the agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Erickson Galt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, our agenda is approved. At our first public comment, this is for comments for items on the agenda. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Communications is on our agenda, but there are no items under communications, so we'll move right to our sheriff's office recommendations. There are 15 items under the sheriff's office recommendations. 12 are law enforcement services agreement with the Township of Addison, Brandon, Commerce, Highland, Independence, Lyon, Oakland, Orion, Oxford, City of Pontiac, Rochester Hills, Springfield Township. One item is a grant acceptance for the 2024 Edward Byrd Memorial Justice Assistance Program. And two are interlocal agreements with Pontiac School District and Oakland Schools for School Resource Officers. Who would like to make a motion? I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Gershenson. Beyond, we have our fabulous sheriff's office here to address these items.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so like you said, the first item on the agenda is the annual JAG Justice Assistance Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. This year it's $70,469, which is about $17,000 less than we got last year. This is always a multi-departmental grant that's coordinated by Fiscal Services, so we all submit our project ideas to them and then they do the allocation. So this is gonna buy miscellaneous equipment within the Sheriff's Office, Prosecutor's Office, and Children's Village this year. And like you said, there's 12 CVT agreements that use the rates that were approved by the board last month. We do have a couple that are making personnel changes, and those are reflected in the agreements. I do anticipate probably some SRO changes and maybe some other changes beginning in January, but obviously they only had a week to review the agreement, so we're just trying to get them, we were trying to get them on the agenda as quickly as possible. And then there's two SRO agreements for Oakland schools and Pontiac schools. Those are the ones that contract with us directly now. I anticipate that some of them, I think the communities are meeting with the school boards, and I think we might have a few more that contract directly with us instead of through the municipalities going forward. So that'll remain to be seen in 2025.
Thank you.
I'm happy to answer your questions.
Commissioner Gershenson?
Thank you. On the contracts with the schools,
Mhm.
in the contract, I believe, was a fee that was gonna be kicked back to the,
They all have it, so,
Okay.
because we added an SRO addendum into all of the CVT
Perfect.
agreements as well, so yeah,
thank you
it's
so much for
included in all
that.
of
And
them.
then how do you take care of transferring that to the committee?
We're still working out the logistics of getting the count, the day we're gonna get the count,
Okay.
and then billing them,
Just
but
keep
then,
me up to date.
Yep,
would you?
okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Powell, followed by Commissioner Joliet.
We were given the municipalities 3 years, to kind of figure out how they was gonna even their amount out. I just want to know, is that like Like, is the contract, did it include that? Did it need to include that, or?
It was in there, so there is language that says that they are able to spread it over the 3-year period.
Okay,
And that they need to work out a arrangement with fiscal services if that's the case. So far, nobody has indicated, at least to me, that they wanna do that. Cause if you do the math, they're paying more the first 2 years and they don't really see the break till the 3rd year. So I don't know that anybody's actually going to
But the language is
do that, yes.
the language is.
it is in there, okay,
It
and
is,
that's all I wanted to just
Yes.
make sure, because I know, Pontiac City Council and Mayor was waiting to see how all this go and maybe had a discussion, so maybe a delay backwards and if any other further negotiations, but I know everybody is in an understanding of that that discussion even having the opportunity to take place, so I just wanted to make sure, that's all.
They just have to really contact us, fiscal services, in terms of how that billing and how they would want that to happen.
Okay, well, once they get this, I think, yeah, they'll be in contact, so, okay, I just wanted to understand protocol, thank you.
Yeah, and we've been in contact with the city attorney from Pontiac, so
Great.
so that's who we've been talking to this last week, but I believe it's section 12 in the agreement, so
No, as long as
loaded
it's
in there,
there,
yep, and
I'm
it's-
not,
yep,
hey, I'm
it's-
not encouraged, I'm not getting involved,
Yep,
you know,
okay.
everybody gotta do their part.
Yes,
I called the question, it's on record, I'll let the man do it from here.
the option is available.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do just wanna point out that we have to set the rates in our system to do the billing starting in January. So there is a little bit of a time element to getting those things worked out.
Right.
I know they'll be in contact, okay, if they need to.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Joliet?
I appreciate all the deliberation that went into this. There's been a lot of conversation about all of these contracts and to recognize the cost easing that is built into this. My challenge is again with the 6%. And I appreciate fiscal services going through their comprehensive algorithm that they took 4 months to figure out it was a CPI plus 2%. And then it was 6%. So I can't support that. At the minimum, the 2% should at least be recognized for the first year. It took some time to figure out that 2%. So for those reasons, I can't support these contracts.
Thank you. I could be wrong, but my understanding was 2% was when they were working on the first year.
Well,
So 3 years and 6%.
and that's fine, then the first year should be CPI plus 2%, and then the remainder of the years be 6.
Well, then it would be 222. Or a total of 6.
She's talking about the additional.
The addition, yeah,
Talking about the
the
CPI,
CPI.
the 6%.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
that was, we over that, I'm over that.
all right.
I want to-
Any other comments or questions? So we are going to do the 12 law enforcement service agreements together. And then the remaining 3, the school resource officers and the grant acceptance.
School resources are with the grant acceptance.
They're interlocal agreements for school resource officers.
And you wanna vote with those and the grant acceptance?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
just wanna make sure I have them correct. Alright, so if you're ready, you can prompt the vote for items 7B through 7M.
Sure. So our first vote is on the law enforcement services agreement.
5 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, motion carries. Our next items,
Oh, we're voting on.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
all right, motion carries, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
And my apologies, I didn't introduce Major Wondrak and Major Perry, but I think you all know who they are. Just so you
Good to see
know, on the record.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate all your support.
Our next 3 items are from Health and Human Services. The first is a grant application to the Cannabis Regulatory Agency for the 2025 Marijuana Operation and Oversight Grant. The next item is a grant acceptance from the Penske Foundation for the Integrated Care Center project. And the last item is a creation of one full-time special revenue community health worker position. I would entertain a motion. I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Gershenson. And who do we have here? Leanne and Stacy. Who would like to start first?
I'm actually gonna take these, and Stacy will jump in if I need some help. So the first item is the famous marijuana grant, right? We've received this a few years now. And past couple years, this has been a very successful grant. Our main focus this year, as it was last year, is the lock boxes and lock bags that we actually provide to the commissioners to give out at their functions, as well as we have them available at all of our outreach events in our individual offices. And then we're also going to focus on advertising, which we always do, right? Not talking about that it's a bad thing to do, but just awareness, right? Really focused around kids and keeping, your marijuana locked up so that it's safe for kids. And also still looking for and doing some education, right, across the community. So that's where our focus will be. They did decrease the amount. If you remember, the amount we receive is based on medical marijuana registry cards. So that's how they determine how much funding we get from this grant.
Leanne, how do we get the lock boxes?
So we purchase them. Oh, you mean you?
Yes.
Like if you want to take them out, you just let me know and we will get as many as you need at a certain location, or we can deliver them over at BOC if you want to, so that you can take them with you. I know Commissioner Gershenson has used them at one of her events, a couple of events. So, and they're very popular. So we're happy to get them to any of you all that want to take some to your events.
Thank you.
Do you want me to keep going or do you want me to questions in between?
Now you keep going.
Okay, all right, so I think the next one is a very exciting announcement, not that the marijuana grant is not, but we were lucky enough, hopefully you all got to see the press conference last week, where Penske Foundation has donated, or awarded us $3 million, so $1 million over the next 3 years, to really increase our mental health focus in the integrated urgent care that's in Pontiac. And so we're really excited about our first award with them. And hopefully, like I said, you got to see the press conference because it looks great. So again, we're going to focus on bringing more staff in to focus, especially around, we say first responders, but anyone that's out in the community, teachers, right, firefighters that are really working frontline staff, trying to really encourage them and reduce the stigma and offer them an easy opportunity to come in 7 days a week. We're also going to do some media, obviously, campaign focusing really on stigma, right, because we still all need to focus on that. Obviously, training is needed. And then looking for sustainability and evaluation, we're going to bring in a consultant to help us, continue to look for that with that money.
Thank you. It is exciting and I'm pleased for the collaboration. I love the public-private cooperation.
I think last time we were there, someone asked us about that and we were like, coming soon. So, there it is. And then the last one that we're requesting is we have a grant. And as part of the comprehensive agreement, we are looking to hire a community health worker that's really focused on maternal child health. So they'll be working with our social care team and also connecting with our clients that are working in our NFP program, our maternal child health, so our community nurses that are out there, their focus will really be in that area. And so this grant will pay for that position.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioner Gershenson?
Just to comment on this Penske Foundation, which is unbelievable, so super exciting. And I know a lot of this had to do with our county executive Coulter and his relations with Mr. Penske, and also wanted to call out Mediha too. But this is, this amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Mediha was a big part of that, so thank you for mentioning that. I know she's on here, but I don't know if she can turn on her camera, so.
Okay, well, congratulations.
I'm-
to all of us.
I'm driving, but thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments regarding these items? Would you prompt a vote, please?
How you get that much time?
Powell,
Oh, yes.
Loops,
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Our next item is a public service recommendation. It's an amendment to the fiscal year 2024 Children's Village Shelter Care. And it looks like Gloria, oh, I need a motion for this item. I have a motion by Commissioner Jones. Eric Singal. It looks like Heather and Gloria are here to speak to this item. What would you like to tell us about the change in the bed status?
Good morning. So Children's Village maintains a contract with DHHS to provide emergency shelter care services, and that would be Mandy's Place. The original bed capacity of our contract was 10 beds with a guarantee from DHS to provide payment for 8 beds should the census drop below 8. A couple weeks ago, we actually reached out to DHS to have some conversation about reducing the contracted bed capacity from 10 beds to 8 beds because we felt that that change would allow us to more safely and effectively meet the needs of our shelter care population, address their trauma, and just essentially provide a safer environment for everyone. So DHS did agree with that change, and so we're here today to ask for approval to amend the contract from 10 beds to 8 beds. And the new guaranteed bed capacity would then be 6 beds.
Thank you. Any questions regarding this item? Has the average amount of beds being used been 8 beds?
Yes, our average is hovers around 8. We rarely exceed that. And so we're very comfortable making this change.
Thank you. Anything else for this item? All right, would you prompt the vote?
That's right.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is a circuit court recommendation. It's an amendment to the virtual backlog response docket grant program. Who's making a motion? We have a motion by Commissioner Joliet and support from Commissioner Erickson Galt. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Lynch, appearing on behalf of the Circuit Court, and Chris Bujak is also appearing by way of Zoom.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Chris.
We are looking to expand the grant using ARPA monies from the Supreme Court. We have 2 primary targets that we're looking for on this. One is for a pilot on court transcription services using a program that was developed down in Indianapolis for their circuit court system. Chris Bujak has looked into this. We're looking to bring this on board and pilot a project that will get things up and rolling and provide transcripts in a more expeditious fashion than we have. It also could potentially set the stage for a change in how court transcripts are produced throughout the court system. So we're very excited about that prospect. The other aspect, we have no guarantee on the money because the Supreme Court is still bouncing this back and forth, but there has been a conversation between the court and the county, particularly with facilities, about adding an additional courtroom for our visiting judge program. And we're trying to get additional money to help offset the cost of that. We have no promises or guarantee. And as you look at the proposal that we have before you, it asks for up to a specific amount, it does not guarantee that we're getting that amount. And because the contract has to be executed before the end of the year, that's why we're appearing in such an expeditious and generalized fashion than the way we normally present ourselves. If there's any questions, either I or the brains behind me will be happy to answer those questions.
Thank you. We're happy to help with the backlog. Any questions or comments? All right, would you prompt the vote?
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We've arrived at public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment to this committee this morning? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:57. Thank you, everybody.